Strange times indeed. You're watching Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McAllister, the czar of the bizarre, coming to you live on twitch.tv/Met Comedy Night, and for a few of you over on Instagram. Now, of course, you watch on Twitch, you get the full show. Big HD, I heard just today. We're exporting in 60 frames per second, so if that floats your boat, head on over to Twitch. Watch us there. As always, Strange Times Indeed is a show about all things bizarre, all things weird. I am, of course, the czar of the bizarre, Cliff McAllister, and we are talking, as always, about things that cannot be explained, be it UFOs, cryptids, ghosts, your own dreams. We're here to talk about it all on Strange Times Indeed, and of course, this is a call-in show. We'll be posting the Zoom link right in the chat down here. So anyone who's watching, if you've got something you've got to talk about right away, then we'll talk about it. Just give us a call. Now, big news off the top. You might remember we took a week off last week. Last week, didn't do too much. We took a week off. I went on a little vacation. And who would have thought the things I missed last week? Well, really, some wild things in the news, some big, strange stories. I'm hearing Twitch is giving us an error message. Let me see here. I'm getting a thing. Steven, are we okay on Twitch? Some dropped frames. Maybe we'll just tweak the settings so we're not going at 60 frames per second. Maybe we're doing it too fast. Let me take a look on my thing. I'll watch myself. Let me mute it so all right, let's see. Well, I'm looking there. Looks live on my screen. So if anything weird pops up, feel free to let us know. You can let us know in the Twitch chat too. There's exact wording in the thing. The error occurred while playing this. It says an error occurred while playing this. Try refreshing your stream, I'd say. Give that a try first, because it just worked for me. Sometimes it's a browser issue. Anyway, troubleshooting right off the top. Strange times indeed this week. It's working now, we hear, and that's good because we love our viewers. Now, as I was saying, we missed some pretty big news last week. Now, this was national news. A new, perhaps a development, some would say, in the whole coronavirus pandemic that's happening right now. Our own president has a new favorite doctor. Her name is Stella Emanuel. Now, she has some pretty wild ideas that have been a real splash on the web lately. So we're going to talk about those a bit to start things off. Now, this is not specifically her ideas regarding the virus. We at Strange Times Indeed are not qualified to give any particular medical advice or recommend any particular drugs for curing this disease. As far as we know at Strange Times Indeed, a vaccine has not been created yet, so it's probably best not to take lupus medicine in hopes that you'll prevent getting the disease. But she has a number of things, and if you look for the buzzwords online, it's particularly things about demon sperm and alien DNA. And if there's two things that we like to talk about here on Strange Times Indeed, it's demon sperm and alien DNA. Now, of course, we haven't specifically talked about alien DNA, and demon sperm has not come up on this program yet. But tonight's the night. There's a time for everything. So get ready. We're going to give you the lowdown on this doctor's beliefs about demon sperm. Now, as she tells it, this sperm is impregnating all sorts of people, anyone that it enters, really, and causing all sorts of hard times. Now, she says that this demon sperm, connected to, of course, having sex with demons, because where else would you get the demon sperm? She says that this is the kind of thing that leads to medical issues like endometriosis and cysts, infertility, but also pretty much responsible for any sort of thing that could go wrong in your life. Now, she might tell you a number of things, and here's the info that we've got. She offers, this is coming from thedailybeast.com. They've got the info, the Daily Beast, like the beast with two backs, the demon itself, the ultimate demon, Dex. Now, Emmanuel offers a sort of demonology of Nephilim, the biblical characters she claims exist as demonic spirits and lust after dream sex with humans. That's right, sex in dreams. Dream sex with humans causing all manner of real health problems and financial ruin. That's right, if your 401k is doing poorly now, you might be having sex with a demon in your dreams. Now, Emmanuel claims real-life ailments such as fibroid tumors and cysts stem from demonic sperm after the demon dream sex, an activity she claims affects many women. And I imagine many men. Many men. Of course, why wouldn't it? Now, here's the thing that you might not know about her, or you very well might. It's the reason, in fact, I did not invite her on. I thought, wouldn't it be nice? We'll bring her on and we'll just talk about alien DNA being in vaccines and where these aliens come from. But looking further into her views, it turns out she holds some very homophobic and transphobic beliefs. Really not the greatest person. And, well, truth be told, we've got a considerable LGBTQ following on this show, and I don't want to amplify some sicko's voice at the risk of our viewers. So I'm telling you about her other beliefs tonight, and you can make up your mind on those for your own. But know that Dr. Stella Emanuel is a deeply transphobic woman. And homophobic. Just bad in general. But holds some strange beliefs, and this is Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McAllister, so we talk all about the strange. Now, as we were talking about the demon sperm, you might wonder, how does a demon have sex with a person in a dream, and how do they get their own sperm into this person? Well, the first way would be by having sex. But of course, this is a dream, and there's a very important way in which this works. You see, I don't believe a human could be impregnated in a spiritual sense or any other by pure demon sperm. And what she posits is that these demons disguise themselves as women in dreams and have sex with real men in dreams to collect their sperm. Then they supplement the human sperm with demon DNA. And these demons then transform into men and have sex with women in dreams, thusly filling them with their demon sperm. Filling, probably not the best word to use, but the word I choose. Now, this is a belief about why everything is so off-kilter, so hard right now, is people having demon sex with demons in dreams, all over the world. Now, if you're watching and you have had sex with a demon, we encourage you to call in. If you've had sex with a demon in your dreams. If you've had sex with a demon, either in your dreams or real life, we encourage you to give us a call and share your encounter. Now, of course, remember, sometimes my parents do turn into this show. So if you did have sex with a demon, we want to know as much as we can, but please try to keep it, don't go, we're not going NC-17 tonight. That's what I'm saying. Now, as far as her other beliefs, one of the big ones is that she believes that vaccines are being filled with extraterrestrial DNA. Now, she says this as if it's a bad thing, but here at Strange Times Indeed, it's hard to believe that alien extraterrestrial DNA, she uses the term alien, but we prefer extraterrestrial on the show. She believes that this is some kind of bad thing, a reason you should not take vaccines. Well, why? Why wouldn't you? Here's the way we see it here on Strange Times Indeed. Extraterrestrials are an advanced species, ones that have gathered the ability to travel across galaxies to our world, our time. They're far more advanced than us. Why would we not want their DNA improving our bodies and keeping us safe from diseases? Here at Strange Times Indeed, although we cannot recommend any specific drugs to cure your ailments, we do encourage you to get vaccinated and get that sweet, sweet alien DNA coursing through your body. And that's what you need if you want to survive in this world. If you do not want to get polio, if you do not want to get the flu, you need that sweet, sweet, good alien DNA. Extraterrestrial, sorry. Whoa, my goodness. Flying off the handle here. As always, we prefer the term extraterrestrials. On Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McAllister, and of course, I'm your host, Cliff McAllister, the czar of the bizarre. And this is a call-in show. If you've encountered anything strange, anything unexplainable, please call in. If you have had sex with a demon in your dreams or in real life, we want to hear about it here on Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McAllister. All right, well, we've got a question in the chat that says Vulcan DNA, and then another one says first contact has already happened, question mark, with extraterrestrials? Well, absolutely. Absolutely, first contact has in fact happened, and we've talked about this in the past, as you may remember. We've told a few stories involving extraterrestrials, many incidents occurring with different presidential figures, only Republicans, interestingly enough. I don't know what it's going to take for a Democrat to meet an alien, but it's going to be a hard thing to do, and it doesn't seem to be happening anytime soon. Now, the president, one of the earlier presidents, this is something we talked about in our very first episode. So long ago, almost 2.5 months ago, I can't remember exactly which president it was, but an earlier Republican president supposedly did have a meeting with, it might have been Dwight D. Eisenhower, if I remember correctly. Dwight D. Eisenhower met with extraterrestrials, and they offered him telepathically advanced technology and perhaps the keys to world peace and a better world if the Americans would stop producing, preferably the whole world, but specifically us, the people seem to follow for some reason, if we would stop producing nuclear bombs, well, then they could have had alien technology. But Dwight D. Eisenhower, the sick man that he was, said, no thanks. You can keep your alien technology. I'm going to keep my nuclear warheads. And now we're in the mess we're in. So why not put extraterrestrial DNA into your bloodstream? Seems to be a civilization all for peace and prosperity. And certainly not dying of polio. So get those vaccines and get your alien DNA. It's probably the best way to fortify your immune system. Now, here on Strange Times Indeed, we talk about all manner of strange things. In these strange times, and here's some interesting information for you. Information of the Fortean variety. This is coming from, of course, singularfortean.com, their news tab. Woman reports being chased by Bigfoot in New York's Hudson Valley. This woman, here we go. This is a story coming from July 2nd, but the news story is just from this past week. This anonymous woman reported on July 2nd that this is her words, this huge creature came running towards her. She heard, the bushes were parting, and she heard these heavy footsteps. The creature jumped up in the tree above her, and the branches and leaves were falling over her. Then the creature started to move from tree to tree. She said it was terrifying. Well, look at that. Coming in on the chat, our producer Kevin's grandfather had polio. Well, isn't that a fun fact? And it's probably because he did not have extraterrestrial DNA coursing through his veins at that time. So, just another reason to get vaccinated. Now, Another person who had witnessed this similar creature, this Bigfoot type creature in Hudson Valley, New York recently. These first initial report caused a few others to come in having similar sightings. And this woman, she said that her son texted her and asked if that initial news story was from her. And he laughed at her. And she said her adult sons have been laughing at her and making jokes all for the while ever since she had this encounter in late June when she was woken up by a terrible smell. It smelled, she said, claims of acid and feces. Now it's hard to say if she means acid the chemical or acid the hallucinogenic. But truly, if it were the acid, the chemical, well, pity those who should have to smell it. So she got up, she goes out and looks out the window and sees something like a large gorilla. Now, there aren't typically gorillas in Hudson Park. Many believe this to be some sort of Bigfoot sighting. It turned around and looked up at me, as Bigfoots do. Bigfoots are very popular to be looking the other way, walking, 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 look over the shoulder, keep walking. That's how they function. That's their signature move right there. That sounds like a true and blue Bigfoot sighting. She said she used a flashlight, was so scared that she went back to bed. She was afraid of looking again. And she said she called one of her sons at 3 a.m, and these sons laugh at her. They treat her like a mockery. They treat her like a fool. For reporting this sighting, this brave woman speaks out about witnessing a very clear Bigfoot sighting in Hudson Park. Walks like this, looks over the shoulder as all Bigfoots do, and keeps walking. That is the clearest evidence I've ever heard of a Bigfoot. The signature move of the Bigfoot. And her children mock her. Absolutely despicable, absolutely disgusting. You should treat your mother with respect. It's in the Bible. It's in the Bible. It's in the 10 Commandments. It says, treat your parents with respect. Treat your elders with respect. And your mother, so lucky to witness a Bigfoot in her time, even one that smells of acid and feces. Now, this could very well be related to the skunk ape of Florida. A Bigfoot-like, a Sasquatch-like creature. Lives in Florida and smells very bad. One of its relatives in Hudson Valley, a woman so lucky to witness it, and her children mock her. I'm disgusted. Let's take a look at the chat here. Jimmy Carter reported, here we go. This is from Wikipedia, a source from Wikipedia in the chat on Instagram. Jimmy Carter reported seeing an unidentified flying object at Leary, Florida in 1969. Yes, he witnessed this in 1969. Now, what is important to note, and this is the continuation of the Jimmy Carter story, he witnesses it as a civilian. So when he becomes the president, he sits down, he calls the head of the CIA in at the time. And who was the head of the CIA under Jimmy Carter? A man by the name of Herbert Walker Bush, future Republican president and most likely a Republican at that time. And Jimmy Carter, having had this experience in 1969, he says, I want to know what information we have about UFOs and extraterrestrials. And George H.W. Bush closes the door and he says, you don't get to know that information. Am I using Wi-Fi? Yeah. Is everything okay? Oh, okay. Sorry about that. This, troubleshooting through the chat. Where was I? George W. Bush would not allow Jimmy Carter to obtain information about extraterrestrials, covering it up as a Republican would, keeping it a secret from the rest of us, so they can use that technology to support the rich, so they can give their secret alien technology to their friends at Verizon, paying them all this money to shut down the internet. And they'll give that technology so Verizon can somehow make worse and worse wireless routers. This show, of course, not sponsored by Verizon. And if they want us to say some kinder things about them, they can always send me $1 million check. But until they do so, this show is brought to you by the Maryland Ensemble Theater for having the guts to put us on the air. Now, Strange Times Indeed, of course, like I said, sponsored by, or, is dedicated to the Maryland Ensemble Theater for having the guts to put us on the air. So if you like this show, if you enjoy what we're doing here, the important work, you can always make a donation to Maryland Ensemble Theater. The link is in the About page over on Twitch, and if you're on Instagram, there's probably a button somewhere on the screen, if I have set things up properly. I'm going to get the record restarted. Steven, roll that animation. We'll tweak this setting. We'll get it next week. Welcome back to Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McAllister. I'm your host, Cliff McAllister, and you're joining us here on Instagram and twitch.tv/Met Comedy Night on this August 6th, 2020. Now, August 6th, an important day in the paranormal community. This is the day that Charles Fort was born. Now, if you do not know who Charles Fort was, well, then you have not been paying attention to the paranormal community since the year of 1874. Of course, 1874, the year that Charles Fort, apologies, sir, for the miscorrection. Anyway, Charles Fort is the man for whom all Fortean things are categorized. You think about UFOs, you think about extraterrestrials, you think about Bigfoots, you think about cryptids. Charles Fort covered them all. My volume isn't working on Instagram. If you can't hear me on Instagram, let me know. Or try refreshing your feed. Where was I? Charles Fort. Yes, of course. The man for whom was born today, his own day of birth, Charles Fort. Now, Charles Fort, he covered all manner of things, and I'm going to give a little list. All right, I'm here seeing no volume on Instagram. We're going to go ahead and close the feed, and we'll start a new one on Instagram. All right. Apologies for you on Twitch. We'll be returning with information about Charles Fort very soon. Very, very soon, in just a couple seconds, once I get this going live again. All right, this might fix things for people. That's right. Hey, we took a week off, and boy, are we paying the price. Charles Fort, here we go. All right, so here are the things that Charles Fort covered in his reporting, in his time on this blessed earth. Charles Fort wrote about the occult, about the supernatural, the paranormal. He reported events that include teleportation, a term for which he is credited with inventing. The falling of frogs, fishes, and inorganic material. If you've seen the Paul Thomas Anderson film Magnolia, when the frogs fall at the end, minor spoiler warning, that is a Fortean event. Spontaneous human combustion. Both the thing I am terrified of and what I would think would be the best way to die, or without a doubt, the coolest. Ball lightning, poltergeist events, unaccountable noises and explosions, levitation, UFOs and unexplained disappearances, giant wheels of light in the ocean, all manner of these strange things Charles Fort reported. And today just so happens to be his birthday. So when you think about the strange, you think about the bizarre. You think of Cliff McAllister, the czar of the bizarre, but also do some thinking about Charles Fort, the man for whom all these things were initially chronicled, put together, and has thusly connected our worlds. The world of the strange with the world of our own. Of course, Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McAllister is a call-in show, and we encourage folks to call in with their strange and bizarre stories. Look at that, that's true. Here's a comment in the chat. Verizon didn't want you shit-talking them. They cut off the sound, but it's back now. That's right, because I use a phone that I pay Verizon for. They probably have bugged my phone. Verizon is bugging our phones. And if you say bad things about them, they will terminate your audio and ruin it for your viewers. Which is why landlines will surely be coming back in the near future. It's really the only way to fly, so look out. Landlines dial up. A secure connection between you and the web and you and your viewers is coming soon. Now, as I was saying, Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McAllister, and I am Cliff McAllister, the Czar of the Bizarre, is a call-in show for all things strange, all things bizarre. Give us a call if you've encountered anything odd, anything strange in these past 2 weeks or in your lifetime. A story you'd like to share, an experience you've had. We want to hear it on the show. It's really the thing that keeps us going for a full hour. If you call in with that kind of information, we can talk about it. I also do dream interpretation. That's right, Cliff McAllister, the Czar of the Bizarre, is wearing a Technicolor dream coat of his own, and he's ready to tell you what your dreams mean. Oh, in the meantime, if nobody wants to call in, we can read a little bit of Charles Fort's The Book of the Damned. Now, this is his key book. This is the book that made him big. Here's what the publisher blurb says on the front page. This is one of the most startling, unconventional books ever written. The Book of the Damned. And you can see here this incredible illustration of a frog eating a man. Damned indeed. Few books ever published have stirred such violent controversy as The Book of the Damned. Its slashing attack on the blind dogmatism of science has excited the wrath of and evoked fervent support from some of the world's first-rate minds. Its record of astonishing strange events that have occurred in the world on which science is strangely silent have provided entertainment and excitement for many thousands of readers. Of this brilliant unorthodox author, Charles Fort Ben Hecht has written, Charles Fort made a terrible onslaught upon the accumulated lunacy of 50 centuries. He has delighted me beyond all men who have written books in this world. He has shot the scientific basis of modern wisdom full of large, ugly holes. Charles Fort and his important work, we'll be reading a bit of it tonight on Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McAllister. Steven, our tech guy, quick question for you. Sound coming through okay? It's starting to rain and I'm right under the roof. So, great, wonderful. That means that short end mic is working well. Here's a question from my producer's grandfather. It says, does Cliff know if Chessie, if Chessie is male or female? Well, that is a good question. Now, Chessie, for those who don't know, is believed to be a relative of the Loch Ness Monster that lives within Maryland's Chesapeake Bay. A local creature. Now, I do not know exactly for sure the gender of Chessie, but I do intend to cover it in the near future. We'll talk about Chessie on the show, if not, do a full investigative report of the Chesapeake Bay. We'll rent a boat. We'll get a good camera. We won't just go out there. I mean, if you follow us on Met Comedy Night on Instagram, or you follow me on Instagram, or you follow the producer, Kevin Cole, or you follow us on Twitch, we'll find a way to make it work. Not only will we rent a boat and go out to the Chesapeake Bay, but we will then search for Chessie, the Chesapeake Bay monster. We will go out and we will try to find this beast within the Chesapeake Bay. We'll rent a boat. We'll do a whole documentary about it. A Strange Times Indeed film. The Search for Chessie. Now you can find that. You'll find that We'll find a way to broadcast live when we're out on the sea, but we'll also put the whole thing together and edit it so you don't have to see the boring parts. Because believe me, when you're searching for a cryptid, there are a lot of boring parts. Oh, am I still alive? There we go. Okay. My phone is acting up. Probably because I've been shit-talking Verizon tonight, and gosh darn it, we'll do it again. I haven't had any really recent quabbles with them, but if they keep messing with our connection, oh, believe me, there'll be a quabble tonight. Verizon, a company that allegedly does not allow their employees to get vaccinated with extraterrestrial DNA. Allegedly. Allegedly a terrible company. Now, of course, for legal purposes, we must say allegedly. No matter how commonplace this information is, no matter how much people know that Verizon allegedly does not let their employees get vaccinated with extraterrestrial DNA. Allegedly, you must know that it allegedly happened. Even if everybody knows this fact about Verizon. Just the important kind of information, the reverse advertising we do and we offer on Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McAllister. If you've got a project that you don't want promoted, you can always send me $50 and I'll tell everyone how awful the damn thing is. And people will stay away from it. That's right. For $50, I will tell people how terrible your product is. I will trash it on the air. Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McAllister. Now, some people claim, why would I want that service? Why would I want something like that? Sounds like a terrible idea to me. Well, let me tell you a story about a man named Billy Joel. Now, Billy Joel, a musician, a piano man, if you will, wrote a song called Only the Good Die Young, a dark, satanic song about good people dying. But also a song about having sex with Catholic girls, a sin for Catholic girls and boys, and everything on the gender spectrum. If you're a Catholic, you best not be having sex. Now that's part of the belief system. Anyway, he writes this song, and the Pope himself comes out and says, this music is trash. This rock and roll is for the devil, by the devil, and no one should listen to it. And what does it do? It gives him the best record sales of his career. So for $50, I will trash your things as bad as the Pope. You've got a real vanilla product. You've got something boring. You're trying to sell light bulbs. You send Cliff McAllister, the czar of the bazaar, $50, and he'll tell people just how boring and average your product is. Just like Verizon's wireless service. And I will say, I am not getting paid by Verizon. And they allegedly do not allow their employees to get vaccinated with extraterrestrial DNA. It's an absolutely despicable and alleged practice. That's right, I'm seeing right here in the chat, go to hell Verizon. Hey, if you're watching live on Twitch, if you're watching live on Instagram, go ahead and type go to hell Verizon in the chat. Let's get it going like a little chat chant. So we know we got viewers on the show tonight. Oh yeah, I'm still seeing just the initial go to hell Verizon, but I know there's at least 3 people watching at this time. And if those 3 people have had sex with a demon in real life or a dream, if they've been impregnated by demon sperm, we want to hear from you. Now, here's a fun fact about sperm. Now, you might not know this, but this really just goes to the typical attitude of a sex-starved, cis male scientist. The man himself who invented the microscope, the inventor of the microscope, Johnny Microscope, he invents the microscope. Wow, you're a genius. You're incredible. And they say to him, and what does he do in his spare time? Well, he does what any man does, and he has some solo time. To use the scientific term, he masturbates. He copulates with himself, collects the sperm, and looks at it under his own microscope, under his own invention, the semen. And that's how we discovered sperm. Because the man himself who invented the microscope just had to see what it looked like super up close. Now, if that doesn't say something about men, I don't know what does. Perhaps it's their insatiable curiosity that leads them to discover such things as how our body works on a microscopic level. Scientists, absolute sickos, who are offering, as Stella Emanuel, our president's new favorite doctor, has said, these scientists are giving us vaccines that are filled with extraterrestrial DNA. I'm still not seeing any go to hell Verizons on Twitch, but I know you're thinking it. Perhaps Twitch is running by the same people who own Verizon, so they've probably blocked that from the chat. They probably won't let you enter such a phrase. And if so, we're watching you, Verizon. We've got our eyes on you. And the way you allegedly will not allow your employees to get vaccinated by extraterrestrial DNA. That's right, scientists. Putting extraterrestrial DNA in our vaccines to make us stronger, to make us like a more advanced civilization, a civilization free of polio, a civilization free of the flu. This extraterrestrial DNA provides all we could hope for in the realm of not getting any sort of awful diseases. And somehow this doctor thinks that's a bad thing. I think it's probably the best thing you could do. Put that extraterrestrial DNA into your body, and oh boy, what a treat. You'll never get sick again. Well, that covered the sex with demons, did I? Oh, but I did not recount. When a demon has sex with you, how does a demon get its demon sperm inside of you? Well, it's a complicated process. First, you see, the demons aren't capable of creating their own sperm, so they must collect some from the humans and demonize it. So how does a demon do this? Well, a demon disguises itself as a woman, or a man, why not, and have sex with another man in his dreams, thusly collecting his dream sperm. Then the demon turns itself into a man, takes the demon-converted sperm inside it, and impregnates a woman in her dreams. Now, this can lead to financial ruin. This can lead to physical ruin. All sorts of any problems you might have in life could be caused by having sex with demons in your dreams, or sex with a dreamin', as we call them here on Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McAllister. And of course, I am Cliff McAllister. If you are watching the show, you can click the Zoom link to call in and share your strange experiences with us. That's a Zoom link over on twitch.tv/MetComedyNight. The Zoom link is not visible on Instagram, but you can just bypass that system and give us a call here on the show. Now, it's okay to call in. I know there are a lot of true believers out there. We are here to listen to you with open hearts and open minds. Anything you might have experienced, any strange happenings, we'll listen to you. This is a safe space for your stories. And even if you've witnessed something strange, but you're one of those dirty scullies, you're a dirty scully who doesn't quite believe in it, a skeptic of sorts, as some might call them in a more professional setting. But as we call them, dirty scullies on this show, if you're a dirty scully, we'll still listen to your story, even as you actively try to disprove it as it happened. Here we go. Here's the thing. Any ex-Verizon employees, this is a safe space to talk about the unsavory things you saw there. That's coming from Magic Scarf in the Instagram chat, but you know what? It's coming from right here, too, Cliff McAllister. Anything you allegedly experienced at Verizon? They're really taking a hitting tonight, and they sure didn't pay me enough to stop doing it. Now, of course, money makes the world go round. That's how it is. And Strange Times Indeed is brought to you by the Maryland Ensemble Theater. And this show, as all broadcasts from Strange Times Indeed, is dedicated to the Maryland Ensemble Theater for having the guts to put us on the air. Now, there's not a donate button over on our Instagram right now, but there is one on our feed on Twitch, twitch.tv/MetComedyNight. Look at that. We've got 5 viewers over on Twitch right now. That's a new lap record, as they would say, in Star Wars Episode 1 Pod Racer, the N64 game. I'm not getting paid to talk about that game, and I'm not getting paid to trash it either. So I will say nothing about it other than the fact that it exists, that I have quoted it on this very broadcast. Now, for those of you viewing, this is a call-in show. We want to hear your experiences with the bizarre. Whether you're a dirty Scully, a skeptic, and you've got to disprove it as you go, or if you're a true believer, come to share with us. This is a safe space. We want to hear your tales. Go ahead. I'm Cliff McAllister, the Czar of the Bizarre. I want to hear what you have to say. The things you've encountered, the things you've witnessed. So give us a call at any time. The Zoom link is in the chat. We'll go ahead. We'll let you right here on Zoom. And don't worry, the camera won't show your face unless you approve after we're on there. But we do have it set up on Instagram. So if you want to maintain anonymity, you'll pop up on screen. No one will see what you look like. So if you're not comfortable sharing the strange things that have happened to you because you think your employers might see it, because you think your children might see it and mock you, don't worry, we'll protect you here on Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McAllister. Oh, that's why they're watching there. Verizon cut the sound again. Oh boy, see, and this is because we keep talking about Verizon on a Verizon product. All right. Apologies for those of you on Twitch. Please stay with us. We are just getting this over. Steven, let's roll that in. Let's roll that animation while I get this fixed. Oh boy, oh boy. Oh, gosh. Been a real pain in the butt tonight. Alrighty. Welcome back to Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McAllister. I'm your host, Cliff McAllister. Of course, as you are saying, as people are saying in the chat here on twitch.tv/MetComedyNight, the truest, the purest form, the way to find Strange Times Indeed in all its high definition 60 frame per second glory. Right here on twitch.tv/MetComedyNight, folks are saying in the chat, Verizon can eat my butt. Go to hell, Verizon. Now that's the interaction we're looking for. Finally, people are telling Verizon how it is, like it is. I've given up. We're not going live on Instagram anymore tonight. Maybe we'll get it next week, but not tonight. There we go. Look at them right there on the screen. We've also got a compliment there from CT Dolson, loving the animation. That's right, our animation animated by our producer, Kevin Cole. And of course, I'm Cliff McAllister, the Czar of the Bizarre, host of Strange Times Indeed, with me, Cliff McAllister. Now, today is the birthday of Charles Fort. Charles Fort, the man for whom all strange things are named after, when they are classified, of course, as Fortean. This man wrote about raining insects, about teleportation, spontaneous human combustion. Now, let me tell you something. Growing up as a child, I was enabled to watch the sci-fi news program Sightings. Now, this is a show, much like our own, covers all things strange and bizarre. I also read any book from the library. In the sections, it was in the Dewey Decimal System, it was somewhere between 0.0 and 100. The very first section, almost reference, but not quite reference. Something slightly different, slightly before the encyclopedias, the things strange, the things unexplained, the truly bizarre, and each one of these books covered spontaneous human combustion. Now, I've spent my whole childhood waiting for the moment in which I, ever since reading about this, ever since finding out about this, from my time. Obscure references there in the chat. Yes, that's exactly reference, but obscure. The unknown, the unexplained. I spent my whole life preparing for this. The issue of spontaneous human combustion, the idea that at any moment I could burst into flames from the inside of my body, that for no reason at all I might just burst into fire, and all that would remain were my own shoes. Now that's, without a doubt, perhaps the coolest way to die. It's hard to say how excruciatingly painful it is. If you have experienced spontaneous human combustion, you are always encouraged to call into Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McAllister. I want to hear your experiences with human combustion. And if you've had sex with a demon, we want to hear about that now. Of course, keep it about PG-13 as well as you can. But if you know about this, we want to hear about it. These dreamings, having sex with people in their dreams. Now, here's a philosophical question I'm going to pose into the chat, pose to our viewers tonight. Now, there is a senator, a representative named Jonathan Strickland. He took to Twitter this past 2 weeks. Of course, we took last week off. During that time, he takes to Twitter. He says, if aliens are real, salvation through Jesus Christ is the only way they can enter heaven. What do you think about that? It's the only way an extraterrestrial can get into heaven, through Jesus Christ. I imagine they probably have their own deities, and imagining their own capabilities to reach technologies more advanced than our own, it's probably be better to bet on those deities. I just have to say, I imagine anything from the start of the Big Bang till now, they've had as much time as we have. And well, where is it? Here they are, twice as powerful than us. We could find their deity. Now that's probably how you get into like heaven premium. Just a
Kevin
pose question. Yes.
Kevin just told me to tell you, Cliff, that when you said aliens are real, there was a loud thunder here in downtown Frederick, where I'm streaming the show from. So Cliff, just so you know, thunder happened the exact moment you said aliens are real.
Well, and you know what's curious about that, Stephen? I don't know if people can hear you at home, but a loud boom of thunder was happening during that moment. During that moment when I said, if aliens are real. I'll tell you something even stranger, Stephen. Not only did you hear that and report it, but I heard it as well as I was speaking. As I was saying those words, I heard the boom of thunder. Now, who's to say if that was a warning from our own deity saying, don't go down this road. Don't go down that road, saying that those extraterrestrial deities are more powerful than I. Who's to say if it was a warning from him or a confirmation of extraterrestrials themselves blasting into our stratosphere? As I'm speaking about it, and I hear the boom too. It's not just you, Stephen. You're not crazy. You're not losing your senses. I heard it as well. Cliff McAllister, the host of Strange Times Indeed, hereby corroborating your experience. There's more than one witness to this, and anyone viewing in the area, if you heard the boom, just write boom in the comments. Just write boom in the comments so we know. Now, sometimes the idea of us going to colonize other planets makes me so sure we are destined to destroy all things. Human heaven is bogus from alien world. Now, that's a comment in the chat. Let me read that one more time because I was sight reading the first time and it probably didn't sound right. This is from CT Dolson in the chat. We can get that on screen. Sometimes the idea of us going to colonize other planets makes me so sure we are destined to destroy all things. Human heaven is bogus from alien worlds. So, of course, our version of heaven cannot exist in these other societies. There it is on the screen. Look at our technology. We've got chat on the screen flying around. You gotta tune in here on twitch.tv/MetComedyNight. A real high-tech show. Definitely gonna clip this and put it in a promo later. Say, look how incredible this show is. You gotta tune in. You gotta call in with your strange experiences. Now, Cliff McAllister, we're talking here. The idea of colonizing space, the fact that humans may be destined to destroy all things, and perhaps this is true. Now, perhaps this is true of almost all civilizations. There is a theory that posits, I think this might be Drake's theory, not Drake the rapper, but scientific Drake. And he says that societies that exist can only reach a certain level of sophistication. And in each one of these societies, almost everything collapses. At a certain point, at a certain advancement in technology, everyone creates a nuclear bomb. Society itself gets so caught up in greed and in making money and ignoring the needs of its own planet that these societies self-destruct at almost the same space all across the galaxy. And that's an explanation for why we've never had exact, some would say, at least this scientist, the way he interprets it, the reason that he does not believe we've had any true encounters with extraterrestrials is that this keeps happening. They never get to the point where they can travel that far. But of course, with extraterrestrial DNA in our vaccines, it seems like not only is vaccinating a smart choice, but it's a smart choice to believe that these extraterrestrials are far more advanced than us. And perhaps they come here to ensure that we don't go too far from our planet. Terrifying times on Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McAllister. We've got about 9 minutes left in the program tonight. Thank you, everybody who's tuning in, who's commenting on chat. We got a boom in the chat from earlier. As you might remember, we said, call out the boom if you heard the boom. Affirming the words of Cliff McAllister. Either the boom of God saying, don't tempt me, don't call attention to the extraterrestrial deities, who are far more advanced than I, or the boom of extraterrestrials entering or exiting our atmosphere at that very moment. As fairies are, perhaps. But when you say that you don't believe in fairies, a fairy dies. If you say it in your heart, not like the way I just said it. That one didn't count. But you gotta say it with your heart, that you don't believe, and it'll kill a fairy. Well, if you question the existence of extraterrestrials, were they to blast off into our world, why, one could say, I don't believe in extraterrestrials. I don't believe in extraterrestrials if they're real. If they're real, call in a whole fleet. And somewhere right now, perhaps over Phoenix, Arizona, perhaps over Sheboygan Bay, Wisconsin, 6 or 7 extraterrestrial ships have appeared in the sky at this very moment for questioning them, for questioning their existence, and they're not going to do any harm. You don't have to worry about it, but you just wait. You look at the news soon, you'll see a story about sightings over this space. Just reminding us, extraterrestrials may very well be out there. They may very well be watching us at this very moment, and they could take it all away like that. Their technology so far more advanced than us, a technology, a existence, where they come into our world and they ask us, as politely as they can, they bargain with us. They say, please get rid of your nuclear warheads, and we'll give you all our incredible technology. And every time we say no, we say we need these warheads. We need to protect ourselves. And so every now and then they pop in just to remind us that we could be free of it all at any moment. We could be free of blasting each other to smithereens. All we've got to do is just get rid of this one death machine that we have. The absolutely horrific machine. A horrific nuclear warhead. A technology and the ability to destroy that mankind should not have capable access to. The extraterrestrials watch us from above. They say, you could get rid of it. You could be free. You could live beyond this moment. You could survive past this. Just have to choose peace. You just have to get rid of it. And we'll give you all the technology you need. Instant. Food materialized out of thin air. Light speed travel. anything you could possibly imagine. The things that brought us to this world to offer you a better existence, and you turn it away every time. And when you question our existence, who are we but to pop up at any random spot? And of course, that's why there aren't a huge amount of sightings, because it's any random spot. They just pop in. Any chance that you might see them, wherever you might be, you might go, there they are, watching us, the extraterrestrials. They exist and we should not question them. Hello? Not much. I'm just doing my show. Okay, I thought you were talking to me. All right. There's spirits in this home. Is that an aid? Might have been. A body snatcher, perhaps. As I am saying, extraterrestrials watching us live our lives, just popping in to remind us. You could be free, you could have all the technology you ever wanted. You've just got to get rid of the warheads. We turn them down every time. Strange times. Strange times indeed. Well, my friends, I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us tonight. It has been a wild ride in which we uncovered some very unsavory practices by the Verizon Telephone Corporation. And as always, remember, Cliff McAllister, Cliff McAllister, for a cool $50, will trash your product live on air. Reverse marketing, the same kind that Billy Joel got from the Pope, sold him 10 million records, if not more. Double platinum, baby. You too could be double platinum for $50. I'll trash whatever your product is live on air on Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McAllister. And of course, if you've had any strange encounters, please give us a call next week. We'll be on every Thursday at 9 p.m. We're also working on a best of collection of some of our previous calls, so be sure to look out for that in the near future. Now, as always, this show is brought to you by the Maryland Ensemble Theater, who have the guts to put us on the air. So if you've enjoyed the show tonight, please, we encourage you to make a donation. You can head to marylandensemble.org/donate. You'll donate there, and boy, we'll say thank you on the air. Donate there, we'll say thank you on the air. And if you've encountered anything strange during the week, or you've seen a story of the strange of the bizarre that we should talk about, that you'd like to hear about on the show, go ahead and send an email to strangetipsindeed@gmail.com. We'll pull that up on the screen. strangetipsindeed@gmail.com. Now, if you've encountered anything strange, or you have any stories you'd like us to explore, to research and talk about on the show, you can send an email there. If you've got a story you don't feel comfortable talking about on the line, if you don't want your voice or face to be seen, you can write in there with your strange experiences. We encourage you to do so at Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McAllister, a safe space for all viewers. Unless those viewers, of course, are the CEOs of the Verizon Corporation. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for watching tonight and engaging in the chat, getting your booms in there, getting your go to hell Verizons in there. It really keeps the spirit moving for us here on the show. I'd also like to give a big thank you to Stephen Craig, our technical director here. He helps the show look so good. There he is there. Woo-woo-woo. There he is there. He gave us that tip about the boom itself. The Big Bang.
Boom, boom, boom.
There he is. Look at him dance. What a guy. Well, thanks to him, thanks to the Maryland Ensemble Theater, and thanks to all of you for watching Strange Times Indeed this week. I'm your host, Cliff McAllister of Strange Times Indeed, signing off.